Hey Blenderheads, this is MeshWeaver. Hopefully this will work because I've had to restart 4 times because of the audio. Yeah, so last time on my first video, I demoed the progress I'd done on this controller here, and I haven't actually changed anything since then. Because this one was final. Seriously, it is done. I could basically texture this and give it the coordinate, and I could have a separate object and a separate scene, and it could just be the controller. But I don't want that. I want the whole thing. So the other thing I demoed in the, very quickly demoed in the other one, in the first video, is this part here, which I had started to work on, but since then I've really just finished this off. This entire section is now final. The subsurf modifier has been activated. The creasing in the subsurf has already been done. In here you can see all these loop cuts. I could probably still modify it a bit just to make it a bit sharper, but for now it looks fine. This is final. Everything is just final on this layer, except maybe for this, but I don't know if I'll actually add a subsurf to that. Probably not, because it's a very square piece. And the other piece, I actually have the basic shape of the actual console outlined, but since then I've made a lot, like a heck of a lot of progress. So let me just switch to layer 1 here, and immediately you can see all these little pieces I have in the panel, front panel, where the two control buttons, power, reset, and the little light, that's where those go. On the side, I now have this bizarre channel that I have absolutely no idea what it's for. On the back, I have the panel in, the holes for the RF switch output, the channel 3-4 control, and the AC input, the ventilation stuff, the plaques here, which I actually extruded up the other day, or was it last night? I have no idea. But I extruded them up, and then I'll have to do the labels in here. There's another thing in here. Oh yeah, this side panel. Also, wait just a second. All these screw holes are actually still circular, because I verified on the actual console, and the screw holes, if you look at them from the bottom, or if you have the console upside down and you look straight down at them, they are still circular. So if you, whoops, I'll accidentally press my start button. If you go into reverse top mode, and you can just see that they are still perfectly circular. So I had to work a bit to get those, to keep them circular, and to still have a workable mesh. This one was fairly easy because it just split. The thing just folds right on the middle. But the other ones were a bit of a pain. Such as this one, which I had to realign these vertices. Yeah. So it's a fairly complex mesh. If I just do this, now this is in face mode, so I'll just switch to vertex, and I'll just hide some of these separate panels, because all of these panels right here are all separate, but this piece is actually all one piece, except for over here where it splits because of the this part. So if I just take a look at it without all the renders, the wire display, just a second, let me just deactivate that darn thing. Like this, it's really starting to look like the actual console. So that's really, really cool. Yep. While I'm here, there isn't really much progress apart from that, but it's still a lot of progress. I've been saying progress and progress. Huh. I don't know, must be like data and data, but I always say data, so. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so I've made a lot of progress, but at the same time, it's fairly slow, because it's all very nice to have the simple outline done, but once you add in all these details, like the grids in here, you really just have to think about how you're going to shape the entire thing so it's still usable. And once I have it in the subsurf, I will have to go in and add loop cuts like this, and it's just going to be a pain. But it's still going to be very, very nice to see it final. Because seriously, this is one of the most satisfying things you can do on achieve on a project like this, is when you have all these complex shapes and still manage to get the mesh properly shaped. It's really just, yeah. I don't know. I just really like it. So yeah. Oh, before I forget, whoops. I want to say there's a special message I want to say here. See this panel here? Well, whoops, it's hidden. This panel, I wasn't actually sure if that actually existed on the original console. So I want to say thanks to a deviant artist called Sipib. I have absolutely no idea how I should pronounce that, but it's probably something along those lines. So yeah, I asked him to check on his NES, or if he could check it on his NES, see if these were actually there, because the last time I had my original console was like almost 10 years ago. So I seriously wasn't sure if this was actually a official piece of the console or if it was just a modification, because where can you find new original consoles these days except eBay, and even then you can't be sure. But yeah, so this is a real piece. Everything is built to scale as well, because I actually usually have the console on my desk next to me. Right now it's in a box. Let me just get that box. The wonders of having a headset. I have the box right here. And now I have the console on my desk. And I've been measuring each and every piece to get it to scale as close as I can as well, because I've been rounding off some of the measurements because they were just like so close to various millimeters that I just rounded them off. But it's really, really very close. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's still a lot of stuff to do. I have to add in these feet, because there's these circular feet on the bottom. I have to add in the cap that goes in here, which I have absolutely no idea what it's for. I think it has to do with some sort of plug-in, a bit like the Game Boy player for the Nintendo GameCube. They have to extrude in these pieces, these grills, these holes, all of these, extrude them in so that it actually looks thick and not just two-dimensional plain, a bit like a piece of paper, because this is plastic, so it has a thickness. Yeah, so there's still a lot of stuff to do, and then after that comes the subsurf, so that's going to be a whole other thing to deal with. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna cut this off now. So, see you soon.